Production support for the weekly special is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Spring has arrived at the weekly special. We'll get an update on the tornado relief. Visit the Sweet Tooth of Southern Indiana and see Gourd art from start to finish. Plus, the new Old Calvary is here to perform right now on the weekly special.
And I'm Joe Wren. This is the weekly special's first episode back since the devastating tornadoes in March.
That's right. And like so many others, our heart went out to those affected.
Yes, WTIU News traveled to Henryville to see just how the Hoosier community is coming together.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. But we're fortunate. We're all okay, and we'll make it. One day at a time, just like everybody else does, you know, that hasn't had this happen to them.
Leon Gilbert counts himself among the lucky ones. His house may be destroyed. His farm is in complete disrepair, but at least he's alive. 12 people in Indiana were killed by the tornadoes in early March. Gilbert has lived here in Marysville all of his life. His 230-acre farm is within a couple of miles of his brother's farm and his mother's farm. As he surveys his land now, he points out where his silos and grain bins stood. The fields are scattered with debris, but Gilbert says thanks to an army of volunteers who've descended on the area, he thinks he'll be able to get a crop out this year.
It's been a remarkable experience for us to have that many people care about you. It touches your heart, it touches your soul, and I don't know, I don't have any idea what we would have done without them all.
The volunteers have come from across the country to help in the relief effort. Moosney came with his church from Denver, more than 1,100 miles away.
We want to do as much as we can, at least provide some assistance to the families that have been affected to this tragedy, and also give them some comfort.
And closer to home, Pastor David Schimpff rallied his congregation at the Vineyard Community Church in Bloomington to help those in need.
What if, you walked, went home yesterday and today and found everything gone? Just absolutely everything you owned gone. You'd need help. We would need help. So, we're just helping people that are in need. It's just what the church does.
According to state and federal disaster agency officials, the relief effort will continue for years as homes and lives are rebuilt. Schimpff says his church will continue to drive truckloads of supplies down to southern Indiana as long as donations come in.
The problem with a situation like this is so often when there's a disaster takes place, everybody rushes for help right away, and then something else happens and often people kind of lose interest. We want to keep this on the forefront.
The need has shifted away from emergency relief to long-term disaster recovery. Now agencies say money is the best thing to give.
And I know it's not always your first instinct, but for folks that don't have home insurance, they're going to need those roofing supplies, they're going to need that drywall supplies, and we need people's help to make that happen.
Anderson says at this point, insurance companies and other agencies are still assessing the damage. She says this summer there will be a lot of demand for skilled labor as families begin the rebuilding process.
One thing's for sure, I'll get an opportunity to help somebody one of these days do what they've done for me, and I'll be there. I'll be there. I guarantee it.
For more information about how you can help the victims of the tornado disaster, visit www.redcross.org.
And Pam, there certainly is a lot of heart in southern Indiana. The weekly special traveled to Jeffersonville, Indiana, to visit just one place that keeps that heart alive.
It was in 1891 that my husband's great-grandfather decided to start Schimpff's in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and here we've been at the same site all those years.
As an older teenager, I wanted to know how candy was made, so I'd come down here. That was some of the first connections I had to seeing the family make candy.
Warren and I had fallen in love with candy long before it was a necessity to keep the business going, so it was just a natural for us to think about when we retired, continuing the business here in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Schimpff's is kind of famous for its specialty candies. The most famous is the Cinnamon Red Hots. We've been making those since 1891. They're made on a drop roll machine. That's turn of the century machinery.
I love the antique equipment that the family had, so I looked out and started making a collection of antique equipment. And of course, if you have the equipment, you want to use it and do something with it, so we made it a working collection.
You see that stove that we're using today? That's more than 85 years old. Now, Warren, we know we are making Cinnamon Red Hots. Just what exactly is boiling in that kettle?
We have sugar.
Sugar.
Corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
Water.
Water.
And red coloring.
Red coloring. It is ready for the cinnamon oil. Look at that. A nice little circle of cinnamon oil. Two things that Warren's doing at this point. Obviously, he's mixing that cinnamon flavoring in. When the flavoring is mixed in by hand like this, each piece is just a little bit different. Now, the machine that you see turning here, this is called a drop roll machine. It's called a drop roll machine because it makes hard candy drops, whether they're cinnamon drops, licorice drops, lemon drops, whatever. But I'm sure you very observant people have noticed our back wall here, and you've seen that we are not limited to squares. We already had a wonderful collection of antique memorabilia that was the beginning, the seed of our candy museum.
The rest is history. We've got 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 pieces in the collection here. What I say we have here is the history of the U.S. candy industry as told by its packaging and advertising. And here we were in industry that I had some way of helping document the history of the industry itself. I just thought it was a personal quest to have fun doing it and collecting these items and seeing how it all fits together.
This is where people can look and say, this is how something is done. It's been done this way for 120 years by the same family. I think people continue to come because they're looking for something real. This was the Schimpff family profession. People said Schimpff, they said candy in Jeffersonville.
We bought this to keep the family history alive. It's a sweet business, I say.
Wow, that looks delicious. For more information on the Schimpffs, visit www.schimpfs.com. Now, Joe is over in the booth with a different take on the handmade market.
That's right, Pam. I'm here with Mia Beach, one of the organizers of the Bloomington Handmade Market. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
It's been around 3 years, and it's grown. Can you tell us a little bit about how it started?
I was contacted by a local printmaker. Her name's Sally Harless. She contacted me and Nicole Wolfersberger about starting a different kind of craft fair, something a little bit different than the other fairs in town. It's a juried show, and we focus on kind of a modern, contemporary sort of take on, the crafts, and we do fine art as well. So we have kind of a mix between the fine art and the craft.
And it's grown from what I've heard too. We're talking at first you had a 60 or 70, and now it's way more than doubled.
Yeah. We moved from the Waldron to the Bloomington Convention Center, which is a much bigger space. We actually have 47 artists. We juried in, so we usually get about 150 applicants and jury it down to 45, give or take a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of the stuff you brought, because I think this is what's really interesting, and some of the things that you'd see at the fair. Why don't you start with that elephant?
And these are all people who are going to be here on Saturday.
Okay.
So this is an elephant by The Wind and the Sail. She's an artist out of Spencer, Indiana. It's a cute little elephant. She's got movable legs and totally baby safe. She does lots of different plush animals. Her work's really interesting, so I like her.
Sounds like families would really enjoy this as well.
Yeah, yeah. Another one we have is a onesie by 8 Story Press. And they do a lot of baby clothes, kids' clothes, that kind of thing, all hand printed with original designs. We have a fox mask by Opposite of Far. She does adult and kid fox masks, and those are really popular. I think this time she's also going to have raccoon masks. We have a shadow box by Sadly Harmless. She does a whole series of inspirational animal shadow boxes, which are really nice. So the Be Brave Bear.
Great. Some eclectic items, all kinds. So if people would like to come, can you tell us about when, where?
It's this Saturday at the Bloomington Convention Center from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you want more information about it, you can visit our website. It's bloomingtonhandmademarket.com. So,
Great.
yeah.
Well, looking forward to it. Thanks so much for being here today. And now we go back to Pam.
Thanks, Joe. And now the new Old Calvary.
Live your life so on with all the things that make it fun. But take heed if you dare light coming down, you fall so far you'll be spinning down the road. So far you'll be begging for a lease if it will take you far away from this place that has been praising you. Let me look up, let me look down. Let me
New Old Calvary, and that was the title track from your debut CD right here. And tell us, how long did it take to put this together?
Oh, quite a while, actually. we drove all the way out to California to do it. We were produced by Nat Keefe, Hot Buttered Rum.
Okay.
And, you know, the drive, 9 miles to the
The drive, yeah. That takes a little while to get out there, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you guys formed how long ago in Bloomington, right?
Yes, in about 2009-ish.
Okay, you want to introduce the band?
Well, we got Justin here on the banjo. Show everybody that beautiful banjo.
It's a beautiful thing.
It sure is.
So happy. Love banjos.
We got Brandon Lee as our newest member of the band on the mandolin. We got Brian Jalapeno Cheddar Chomka on bass here.
Thank you, Chris.
Give us a little bass.
Ooh.
We got Alex Wickmer on the dobro. And I'm Chris.
Well, you're going to have to do something. Excellent, excellent. And these are all original tunes, I'm assuming.
Yes, everyone.
How did you guys get into doing bluegrass? Is it just a love that you all had?
Well, this is a collective group of people who showed up the most.
Okay. So you made a CD. Where can people pick this up?
They can get it online on Amazon or iTunes. It's also going to be for sale at all our shows. It's cheaper at the shows, so you should come to the shows.
Yeah, yeah.
It's also going to be in all the Nature's Farm stores, all 6 locations in Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also for sale at Trax and Landlocked Music here in Bloomington.
Okay, do you have a website people can check out?
Yes, we do. It's just www.newoldcavalry.com.
And I was reading your bio, you're the fun late night band or something like that at a lot of festivals?
We do get a lot of late night festival slots. I think like the 3 to 5 a.m. slot.
Oh,
been,
great. Yeah, well, that's got to be
fun.
fun. That's got to be fun. Now, you've got a couple of shows coming up in the near future, one Friday night and one next weekend. Tell us about those.
Yeah, we're going to be in Dayton, Ohio on Friday. And then next Friday, Friday the 13th, we'll be at Max's Place, which is on the north side of the square. If you haven't been there yet, it's awesome.
And it's all ages?
Yes.
And they have good food and all that good stuff?
We'll be playing the whole night.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to have one more song from you guys. What's the name of the second song you'll be doing later?
This is going to be called Mule Mudded In. It's actually not on the album. It's a new song.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. For now, though, we're going to go back over to Joe.
You may be wondering what this is, but before we find out, the weekly special went to see exactly how it started.
We used to grow watermelons, muskmelon, pumpkins, and I would add something every year. And my nephew, he brought 2 boxes of seeds home, and each box had a package of gourd seeds in them. I planted a row with those. And then the next year, I said, Ron, I'm going to plant 2 rows. Then the next year, I wanted 2 acres, and he would get mad every year because I was taking his land. That's how it actually got started.
Now, 30 years later, Ron and Helen Thomas continue to grow gourds on their 12-acre farm in Howard, Indiana.
It's quite an experience watching stuff grow like that. Sometimes we've had these great big huge ones. Sometimes I take my friend out in the field, you know, our friends, and we just fall all over the place laughing at those great big things, how they have grown, you know, or the shape or size. So I was hooked just for those 2 packs of seeds. And then I sold, let's see, about $2,500 worth to one person. They saw my sign out there that I had gourds for sale.
That chance encounter gave Helen her first glimpse at what could be done with gourd art.
Once you see the end product of all that work you've done that you've really enjoyed, and then you see that part, and you get hooked. You know, it's like hunting mushrooms. You know, you see them in their sleep, and you don't mind it at all.
The gourd is a fantastic medium to work on. You can do anything to a gourd that you can do to a piece of wood, any kind of craft or artwork, that type of thing. So it has really worked out, you know, quite well for a lot of us to have got hooked on gourds. They talk to you. You can pick up a gourd and not know exactly what you want to do with it, but you can look at it and study it for a while, and one moment it'll go, oh, this is what I want you to do. So you know whether you're going to wood burn it or paint it or carve it or whatever. They just sort of have a life that they speak to you.
Artists from all over Indiana get together for classes, festivals, and even competitions.
The Indiana Gourd Society covers the entire state of Indiana, and we have about 350 members. We're getting ready to have our large state show in April, It's quite an interesting thing to see, and if you've never been to a gourd show, this is the one gourd show you need to come to. It's one of the largest in the United States.
It's a satisfaction. It's a joy. It's awesome. You know, you pick something up like this. Like me as a grower, I walked out there. You saw those old dirty things in the wagon. You look at those and you think, I wonder where it's going to end up. So, see, I'm not really in it for the money. That's an important part. But even if I wasn't making money, I'd still want to mess around with gourds. It's fun. It's fun. But it's my thing.
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm here with Sue West Hughes, a gourd artist from Bloomington. You kind of started the same way she did. You just had a few packet of seeds that you wanted to build some birdhouses, and now you're wearing gourds.
Absolutely. It starts with just a few seeds, and you do really get hooked, as she said. They're a wonderful medium, and you find them worldwide. There's all kinds of stories, folklore, mythology connected with them, and they're an eternally fascinating plant and incredibly never-ending source of surprises when you grow them.
Yeah.
You end up with all kinds of shapes, sizes as small as this little earring I'm wearing, and as large as that large drum on the floor. The gourds vary in size, shape, and...
Well, yeah, when I was seeing this drum, I was thinking that's only part of the gourd, correct? I mean, that was cut off.
Yeah, the top of it was, but that was just more of a rounded top similar to this, and then the top was cut off and made into a large drum.
How did they grow them so big?
A lot of it's in the seed. The seed source makes a big difference, and also the thickness of the gourd. A lot of the gourd thicknesses will vary depending on the type of gourd it is. So if you have good genetics and you have good soil, you can grow large, thick, walled gourds.
And also, I assume it depends, gourds can come in all different sizes, right?
Absolutely.
And shapes.
And
you can't really plan that. So you
can plan it to a degree. You will have seed. There are many varieties of seeds, and within that seed variety, you will have a certain amount of shapes that will produce themselves. But it is infinite because you can get crossing of plants, and then you get even more shapes.
And you brought this, which I think is a kind of a neat starting point. This is what it first looks like.
That is an egg gourd plant as it's growing. You can see, and this is what one would look like as it was dry, and it's kind of dirty. You clean them up, and you can end up, you can cover them with cloth and weight them. You can make nesting gourds. You can wood burn them and dye them and just make beautiful little decorative gourds. It's endless what you can do with them. Just cutting them in half, opening them up, filling them with a spoonful of rice, and reclosing them. You have a little shaker.
Wow. And tell us some of the things that we would never think. I saw a lamp in that story.
There are, some of the gourds that you may see at this gourd show, people have spent countless hours in the competition working on. And when you look at them, you may not even be able to perceive they started as a gourd. They have been so worked on to, it's incredible, the type of work and the fine art that you will see at a gourd show.
And you've won some first place awards at some of these shows.
I have. I don't enter the competition too much anymore. I just kind of go for the fun and the camaraderie, and then I do vend.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and remember to visit the Indiana Gourd Show on the weekend of April 13th at the Hancock County Fairgrounds. Visit the links you see on screen for more information about the show and gourd art.
That is amazing. This has been the most interesting show, with art and bluegrass, and I hope you stay around so we can check out some of those items.
Pretty cool stuff. That does it for tonight's episode. For now, we'll leave you with more from the new Old Cavalry.
Production support for the weekly special is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. And by WTIU members. Thank you.